Exciting news out of Oxford University this hour. Scientists say in early trials, their experimental vaccine produced an immune response to coronavirus in hundreds of people who got the shot. It's the latest promising result in the race to produce a vaccine. Joining us to talk about this and other vaccines in the works, family physician Dr. Nicole Swiner. So, Dr. Swiner, thank you so much for joining us this noon. Let's address that news out of the UK right now. What's your take on that?
I'm actually really excited. I mean, it's the first piece of optimistic info we've heard in a long time during this whole pandemic. So I'm actually pretty excited to see what happens, especially as the fall and the new year start with more information.
Why is the nasal testing and the antibody testing so important?
It's the only way we know not only who has been infected, who is infected, but who out of people in our community that are asymptomatic carriers or pre-symptomatic carriers, meaning those who have the disease, don't have any symptoms, but they are walking around and potentially transmitting it to the rest of us, especially if they're not wearing masks. So very, very important to know those details to help us move forward.
And masks being number one probably, but those who have tested positive and have been infected, how can they prevent from spreading it to others?
Yes, please stay at home and quarantine. So once you've been tested and you know you have a current infection or acute infection, stay home, quarantine, try to quarantine from your family as realistic as possible. And most folks are told to stay away from the general public for at least 2 weeks. And every, employer and provider is different, but, quarantining is the big deal.
Well, all the talk about kids going back to school and the concern over that and what the classrooms will look like when they get there. How should we feel about sending our kids back into those classroom situations and the different school options?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm nervous. I have 2 school-age kids myself, and we're going through the options and all of that. We're definitely leaning probably more towards the virtual learning option for the first couple of months. It's going to be a challenge because, kids, it's harder for them to stay away from each other and wear their masks consistently. And my heart goes out to the teachers that have to deal with all this. So from a personal perspective, I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous.
Well, I get it, and a lot of folks are, and that's why the surge in signing up for the virtual academies. Dr. Nicole Swiner, thank you for the insights and joining us this noon. Appreciate it.
Thank you.